Hi everybody, Christy Giannoni back in week 2 for MPA570. This week we're taking a look at the policy problem analysis continued. For my problem policy issue, I am taking a look at alcohol-related vehicle collisions. So in 2019, there were 3,606 persons killed in alcohol-related vehicle collisions in the state of California. So according to the California Office of Traffic Safety, 10,511 fatalities in alcohol-related motor vehicle collision crashes accounted for 30% of all traffic deaths in the California state for 2018. So aside from loss of life, there are additional externalities that are related to these alcohol-related motor vehicle collisions. These include tangible economic costs, including legal expenses, medical costs, and emergency services. So that information is coming from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They are a part of the United States Department of Transportation. They also have the data on the number of vehicle collisions that resulted in fatalities for each state, as you can see here. There are a variety of current policies and laws related to this problem. The first one, notated number 1, is at the federal level. So there is federal regulations regarding operating under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Most states do have their own regulations and penalties. So those listed under number 2 are going to be coming from the California Vehicle Code. That first one indicates the blood alcohol content level that makes it legal or illegal to drive a vehicle. And then that second one is that zero tolerance law for juvenile underage drivers, which was enacted in 1994. These offenses are misdemeanors that are punishable by probation, fines, DUI school, license suspension, and ignition interlock device, sometimes jail. Typically, they are misdemeanors unless the defendant has prior felony DUI convictions or the incident did result in a fatality. So DUI penalties grow harsher with each successive conviction, and they can vary by county, especially with those fines if the agency is looking to collect larger amounts for violating the vehicle code. These can be enforced by various levels of law enforcement throughout the state. So it could be a local city police department, county, which would be sheriff, California Highway Patrol, and any other state troopers. So across the state of California, this is going to be enforced by any law enforcement agency. And then number 3, that's going to be something that the California Highway Patrol has a law that allows them to do DUI checkpoints, which is a program that would prevent the problem from happening. So while we're not focusing on programs right now, this is a law that would allow them to do something to prevent the problem from happening. The most recent law was in 2019 under Senate Bill 1046, which requires those convicted of a DUI to install ignition interlock devices to be eligible for a restricted driver's license. So this law actually impacts the problem by possibly increasing it because there is a perception that the fines or penalties are not as harsh as they were because you can actually get a driver's license. So while it would prevent the individual from reoffending, it could, in theory, increase. There are a variety of stakeholders that are impacted by this policy and law. A notable one is Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They are very active in lobbying for stricter penalties for those who drive under the influence. So they were a direct result of the statewide ignition interlock device pilot program that is being overseen by the DMV. And then the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they are a stakeholder because they are creating laws and policies to help keep our national safety highways from having any issues. And so this affects federal funding and state funding as well. And then California Highway Patrol and the DMV would be stakeholders because they are actually creating and enforcing these laws. And Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, they are an independent, nonprofit, scientific, and educational organization dedicated to reducing deaths that are directly related to alcohol and drug use for driving under the influence. There are some that are opposed to these laws and policies. They were generally considered to be groups that were comprised of alcohol and hospitality industries, so some of those associations for bars, restaurants, hotels. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I look forward to working more on this problem analysis and looking at public policy to see what has changed, what is coming, and how effective it is.